I stared at the message after I sent it like the words might crawl back into my throat if I blinked. The rain was still falling, steady and patient. Streetlights turned every puddle into a mirror, and all I could see in them was a version of me that kept apologizing for wanting respect. My phone sat in my palm, warm from my hand, too quiet. That's the thing about boundaries. The moment you set one, the world holds its breath, and you realize how much you've been holding yours. I looked up and the crosswalk sign blinked like it was counting down my courage. Then it happened. Seen. Not delivered, not sent. Seen. My stomach tightened. My mouth went dry. Because when someone reads your boundary and doesn't respond right away, you start hearing every past argument in advance. You start imagining the twist they're about to use to make you feel guilty for asking to be treated like a person. I didn't mean to, but I checked the time. 6 minutes. I told myself not to do that thing where you measure your worth in someone's response time, but I did, because Leila trained me to. 6 minutes later, her message came through. Not an apology, not even confusion. It was a performance. Wow. Just one word at first, like she wanted it to echo. Then the real sentence arrived. So you don't trust me? I stared at it. My thumb hovered. My mind started drafting paragraphs. I could already feel myself slipping into that familiar role, the translator of my own pain, the one who explains, softens, reassures, so the other person doesn't have to sit in the discomfort they created. Sam's voice played in my head, calm, unshaking. If she loved you, she wouldn't need an audience. Before I could answer, Leila sent another message. Sam put this in your head. And there it was. The pivot. The classic move. If they can't deny what they did, they'll attack the person who helped you name it. They'll make you choose between loyalty to a friend and loyalty to yourself. I didn't reply right away. I let the silence do what my people-pleasing never could, reveal the truth. My phone buzzed again, and again. Leila started typing like urgency could turn guilt into confusion. I didn't even mean it like that. You're taking it the wrong way. It was literally nothing. Then the one that always feels like a slap dressed as concern. You've changed. I laughed out loud this time, not because it was funny, because it was predictable, like she had a script and I'd finally reached the part where she blames the main character for waking up. I turned my phone off for a second, just long enough to hear my own breathing, just long enough to remember I'm allowed to be loved without being handled. I turned it back on, and that's when I saw the message waiting from an unknown number. No profile picture, no name, just digits. 3 words. Hey, it's Eden. I froze so hard I felt it in my knees. The wind picked up off the water and pushed cold air through my coat like it had permission. My hands went numb around the phone. Because Eden wasn't supposed to be real. Eden was a name at the top of a screenshot, a shadow behind a conversation I didn't know I was part of. I didn't open it right away. I stared at the notification, and in that moment, every part of me fought itself. The part that wanted answers, the part that wanted peace, the part that wanted to pretend I'd never seen the screenshot at all. And then I thought of how many times I'd ignored that quiet feeling in my stomach, the one that whispers, something is off. I tapped the message. The screen loaded like it was taking its time on purpose. Leila wrote, I'm sorry to message you like this, but I think you deserve to know what she's been saying. My throat tightened, because there are sentences that change your life without raising their voice. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. The city felt far away. The fog made the streetlights look soft and dreamy, like the world was trying to be gentle with me, while something inside me was bracing for impact. I didn't know if Eden was coming to warn me or finish the damage. I didn't know if this was someone trying to help or someone who enjoyed watching things fall apart. All I knew was that my best friend had talked about me to a stranger, and now the stranger had my number. Eden's next message popped up before I could even breathe. Leila told me you're obsessed with her. My face heated up, not from embarrassment this time, from rage that didn't know where to go yet. Obsessed? I thought about the times I'd waited for her to text back, the times I'd forgiven the little jokes, the times I'd covered for her, paid for her, defended her, made excuses for her moods. If anyone had been obsessed, it was me with keeping the friendship alive. And then it hit me. This wasn't just betrayal. This was reputation. This was Leila planting a story about me in someone else's mind before I ever got to speak for myself. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Leila. "I'm coming to your place." My stomach dropped so fast it felt like the floor moved, because suddenly it wasn't just digital, it wasn't just the group chat, it was real, and it was headed toward my door. I looked at Eden's message again, then at Leila's, then at the rain-soaked street stretching ahead of me like a decision, and I realized something that made my chest ache. The most dangerous part of losing a friend isn't the loneliness, it's discovering you never knew who they were when you weren't in the room. I took one breath, then another, and I typed back to Eden. What else did she say?